Hey, we're live. I don't know why I get a little nervous each time we do this. Like, I feel like this time we're gonna actually have someone to talk to, maybe?
I hope.
Yeah,
I
but
hope so. I'm
let's
gonna share the link real
oh,
quick
yeah, share the
myself.
link, share the link. We just went live as of 10 seconds ago. So, usually, what I notice when we start lives, we do like to, get the word out almost as it gets started. So that's kinda how we start, a little slower, a little almost disorganized, but that's part of the scheme, so don't worry about that. Um, and we have a lot planned to talk about, today. Hopefully, interesting stuff. We're seeing that we get a lot of, um, engagement with, certain subjects, so you're aligning ourselves with things we like to talk about and things you guys like to listen to us talk about. So, yeah, um, on that note, uh and let my co-host get a little ready. I'm gonna introduce us. Uh, for you guys that don't know us, or recurring but forget our names often, that happens to me. My name is Will, and this is Daniel, and we are the Auto Chronicles podcast series. Um, and this is our live series. We've been doing live, and we might continue doing live, uh, because it
It suits us.
it suits us,
It
yeah, it
suits
suits us,
us.
and it also, avoids all the headaches with the editing. Like, I love the editing part. It would drag out the uploading time, like,
Yeah.
like 2, 3 weeks, dude. So, we're doing this, but if you guys like the editing, let us know. Drop a comment, watch some of our other videos, for comparison. Um, and for you guys that are subscribed to us, you guys should look into turning your post notifications on, so you guys can know when we're going
Mhm.
live.
We've had a couple of people tell us, "Well,
Mm.
I don't know when you guys go live." Notifications.
Yeah, baby. So grab your drink and grab your vapes and let's get started on I don't even know episode. We're not doing episodes anymore.
Yeah.
But
Another video.
another video. Here we go. Yeah, man. Oh, we got a is that a viewer? Is that a viewer we got? Hey, what's up guys? Yeah, let's jump right into it, man. So first thing on the agenda today, we're trying to the whole point of this
You
channel.
scared him away.
It's okay. It's all right. They'll come back.
Oh boy, that's
The
funny.
the whole um antithesis of this platform we're trying to create is to get people interested in getting into the automotive industry,
Mhm.
more dialed in towards the parts segment of the things. But yeah, we want to introduce people to the automotive industry, and show them the good sides and the bad sides. Especially if you're car people, we want to get them interested in the automotive industry as
Yeah.
well.
We wanna highlight the automotive industry both
Mm,
from, uh, career side of it and just, why we all do it, why we're here, why what is it about cars that has so many people involved, you
Besides the
know?
money, there's a lot of money in the automotive industry, like
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of it.
What is the
Um,
second biggest industry, I believe?
I wanna say it's up there. I'm not sure. I know the pet industry is a huge one. Um, Automotive industry, everyone has a car. Transportation's vital. Um, and there's so many different aspects of the automotive industry that people aren't aware of, right? So we wanna get people interested into that. And, to get started, we wanna kind of highlight our expert on hand, Daniel, who's more of the expert. I'm more of the average Joe kind of mindset. I'm acclimated with the automotive industry, but for this series, I act as an incompetent uh person, even though I am kind of incompetent. Um, so let's jump right in. I have a question for you, Daniel.
Mhm.
Um, how did you get started in the automotive industry? How did you find a liking for this in particular, and how did you stick with it?
So, just to start, I mean, this is the only thing I've ever done.
Mm,
I've never worked in any other industry. Automotive industry
hmm,
is all I've done start to
wow.
finish. I've done things off record, like with my dad had a business. He was welding gates and things like that. But um, I just knew with my passion of cars, they always say do what you love.
Yeah.
What I love would be cars,
Okay.
and that's it. I mean, my first job, I hounded a manager at O'Reilly's for a job, and when
Hmm.
I say hounded, I went in twice a week for like a month. And, I went to, like, a career fair they had at one of the larger stores,
Mm,
even applied there, interviewed with the people there, and, I mean, that's it. That was it.
that was
Uh,
your foot in the door.
yeah.
Yeah.
He finally hired me. It was Halloween day. I walked in wearing a poncho,
Hey, there we go.
and
Yeah.
I walked in, and he was like, "Cool, you can start today." And I kind of looked at him, and I'm like,
Like,
and he's like, "Enjoy your Halloween."
that
Uh,
what a day it would have been, huh?
yeah,
Just,
yeah,
yeah,
in a poncho, just slanging parts.
man. Um,
But I mean, that's it. I mean, that's really all she wrote.
mm,
Just the auto industry. I mean, if you genuinely love cars and you genuinely have a passion to learn,
yeah,
there's nowhere this won't take you.
cool.
My biggest thing is though,
Mm,
have that passion to learn.
yeah,
If it's something that, oh, I think I could get into cars and things like that, it's probably
yeah,
not for you, but try it out. I mean, it doesn't hurt, right? I mean, everybody's nervous to waste time, right? Everybody has that regret of,
mm,
"Oh, I wasted time." Who
yeah,
cares? It's
true.
experience.
Yeah,
I've worked at places that I'm like, if I was a different person, I'd say, "Oh, that was a huge waste of time." But no, it's stepping stone.
true.
All of it
Y
is stepping
That's a
stones.
great way to look at it,
Mhm.
a good perspective to have because, like, I was gonna bring up, you said you were hounding them for a couple weeks before you even got the opportunity to talk to someone that would potentially hire you.
Mhm. Mhm.
Is it normally that circumstance in this industry where it's kind of a closed gate, or you need to know someone to get
No,
in? No?
no,
Okay.
never,
Yeah.
never. The only time it's like that is, most places. I mean, at the dealership, you
Mhm.
saw we hired people. I mean, people with almost no work history at all.
Yeah.
I think there were a few people that was their first job,
Mm.
and it might not work out for them because they don't have the passion. They just wanted to sell cars, but
Yeah. Yeah.
to get in dealership parts, you need some kind of background. Of course, you're not just walking in, unless you really have that kind of personal history,
True.
and you could prove that in the interview. But
Yeah. Yeah.
generally speaking, being somebody who does hiring and things like that,
Mhm.
from a professional standpoint, I do wanna see some automotive background,
Yeah.
but if you have some professional history in there, I'm I would be more than willing to interview somebody, and if they have the knowledge and the understanding and the willpower to learn,
Absolutely.
definitely.
And it's because a lot of things do translate well from other
Exactly,
industries, right?
exactly, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of like, typical parts store, O'Reilly's, Napa AutoZone, things like that.
Mhm.
A lot of that is transferable. A
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
that can come over uh or a lot of retail business, I mean, can
Mhm.
come over into the parts industry. Most of the people I know that work at parts stores now, they're grocery store people.
Okay.
They have no knowledge of cars.
Mm.
I want that to
See,
change.
yeah,
I
yeah.
want that to
That
change,
that
so
seems kind of, contradictory almost, kinda
yeah.
like you're.
But that goes to show how easy it is to get in.
No, true.
These people have
Yeah.
no experience,
Mm.
none whatsoever. I keep hitting my mic. They have no experience whatsoever in this industry, and they're just coming from grocery stores, gas stations, all kinds of things like that, and just
Or their
walking in.
first job, right?
Yeah,
So
and so they're just it's easy to get into the industry. You just have to have that interest and that push to do it.
and so perspective-wise in the whole industry, you've listed a bunch of things that would essentially be at the bottom of the totem pole,
Yep,
right?
yep.
But again, it's stepping stones, like you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, it's
So
stepping stones. I mean, I know people that I met that have worked at O'Reilly's their entire life.
mm,
They're upper management, and it's a career. It's not a
yeah,
job for them. It's a career.
true.
And it became that over time, I'm sure. I'm sure none of those people really thought, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna be here, until retirement." But nonetheless, I mean, they made it into a career. They took it, and they took that interest in it. And that's I mean, me, I'm not a stagnant person. I get stagnant, I get bored, I gotta
Mm,
move on.
yeah,
I need change. I
mm.
have to have change in a regular life.
Or progression.
Yeah, I mean, but
Yeah, it's
that's
change.
change. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
But, I can't do the same thing day in, day out, and that's kind of why I've had so many different jobs in the auto industry. Because
Yeah,
I look at stuff and I'm like, "Okay, this has fulfilled its purpose." I
yeah.
don't see the
You've mastered this craft. There's
yeah,
your goal is to be the top dog, not, a pusher, right? So
yeah,
that's kinda where
yeah.
that I feel it.
And so if there
Absolutely.
was no advancement coming my way in the near future,
Mhm. Yeah,
on to the next one, let's go.
absolutely.
Something
And
that's a step up.
absolutely. So, do you wanna kind of lay out the the progression scale of the average auto industry worker? So say the bottom of the totem pole is either, parts store, a
Well, yeah,
dealership. What's that
let's
look like?
just hit it with, like, parts store, right?
Mhm.
Because you start off at like O'Reilly's or something like that, right? O'Reilly's, AutoZone, maybe even a Napa. Napa generally is a bit more. They want people with knowledge to begin with. I
Okay.
mean, I've understood that's changed over the years. I've seen
Yeah.
some of the employees that are there, and
So
they
a little more
definitely,
selective on
yeah,
yeah,
they
okay.
definitely didn't know a damn thing when I met them. But um, so generally, you would start there. You would start AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Napa. The way I worked when I started, it was not easy to get into a Napa. Uh, or one of the local parts stores. You had to have experience. They did not have the time and resources to waste on training somebody who wasn't gonna work out. So
Okay.
you had to be pretty much good enough to get in.
Mhm,
Um, but like O'Reilly's, AutoZone, obviously it was my first job.
mhm.
So, it could be anybody's first job, right?
There we go.
Just have that passion there.
Yeah.
With You can grow within an O'Reilly's, you can go within an AutoZone, all that. Um, that's where like people skills and things like that come into place, right? Management mindset comes
Mhm,
into play. Um, but generally speaking, I mean, you could go up, be a key carrier or
mm,
closing manager. O'Reilly calls it an RSS, things like that.
okay.
You could be a commercial manager once you get good enough, able to look things up fast, able to understand, what people are asking for, everything like that. So a lot of that stuff, it's, there's tons of places
Mm.
to grow within just those
Retail space, the retail
mainstream
parts,
brands
yeah.
alone.
Okay.
Um, but and that carries over. I mean, if you want to step up to a potentially more pay,
Yeah.
more kind of prestigious, you would go to a parts store or
Makes
a dealership,
yeah,
not
okay.
parts store. But parts department at a dealership
Mhm.
generally really well taken care of. You get the benefits being at a big money dealership and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And there's more expertise to it, right?
Mhm,
But within there, generally pays definitely better,
mhm.
right? But I've never heard of a O'Reilly's manager, like store manager or things like that, making what most parts managers make.
Yeah,
Um,
that
so
makes sense.
generally speaking, I mean that's kind of where people want to go to is parts stores. But given you can go up to regional or higher, the big brass guys up at these retail stores
Mhm.
and potentially keep growing and more and more and more and more and more.
Yeah,
But a lot of people in line for that though.
true, true. So
You're corporate America, you're fighting for that top spot.
so there is a lot of space within the automotive industry for people to kinda jump in where they fit in kinda thing, right? Your from your experience, you started at a parts store, moved on to a dealership, for
Yeah.
obviously better experience, better pay,
Yeah,
um
so my biggest thing is, as many people know, if you've watched our previous videos, I'm a huge Ford person. I'm a
mm,
Ford fanatic. I love Ford.
yeah.
And so
It's not on the walls right now, but we usually have the Ford all
yeah,
over
yeah.
here,
But
yeah.
I worked at O'Reilly's, stepped up to a Napa, and by the time I had worked at both those places, I kind of feel like I had mastered what I was doing for the most part. I didn't always exude that to people,
Yeah.
to management and whatnot. I was 20 by the time I had finished that
Jeez.
off. But and an opportunity became open at the local Ford dealer,
Mm,
and I was like,
yeah.
game.
Yeah, that was, like, your golden ticket. You're like, "I've been
Yep,
waiting for this. Call me up to the big leagues,"
yep.
right?
And
Yeah.
so I interviewed, and I think I was actually hired same day.
Mm,
I don't think I
yeah,
even went home. I think she was just like, well, great, you're with us.
that's dope.
And so yeah, I started like a week and a half later, 2 weeks later, something like that. And yeah, that was it. I was in the dealership world.
Mhm,
The only thing with dealership life is you have that same kind of waiting period, right? There's a lot of people in most
mm,
places I've been that are worth working at.
mhm.
Disclaimer. There's generally a line before you.
Yeah.
There's
It
people that have been there 20 years
mhm.
in some cases.
Is it usually like a vetting process kinda thing, or it's more of a picksy choosy kinda thing, or how
I mean, obviously, if you're just a great candidate, you're
mhm.
gonna pass up some people
Okay,
for sure.
absolutely.
But generally speaking, I mean, most of these are older guys that have held
Mm,
the fort down, and they're
true.
gonna,
Yeah.
they're cush. They've had a
Mm, yeah.
cush existence the entire time they've worked there. No
Mhm.
weekends, no late hours, all that.
Yeah.
So I mean, coming in, you're gonna get crap shifts. You're gonna get
Absolutely,
but
and that's also selective based on, and I believe this entirely with my heart, which dealership you're going to, right?
Oh, absolutely,
Because the
yeah.
environment will change dramatically from,
Yeah.
say, a BMW dealership to a Ford dealership. Totally different environments, totally different ways
Well,
of
even
people,
even Ford
and
dealership to Ford dealership,
yeah,
totally different. I've
absolutely,
I've
yeah,
met people from multiple Ford dealerships and things like that,
hmm
and I why are they here?
yeah,
Why do they even work here?
yeah,
What's the
and
point? You know?
the whole goal is to get people that are passionate about their jobs, their
Mhm.
roles,
Mhm.
cars, to be in the automotive industry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
so
that's the thing. Nobody I've really met at a parts dealer or at
mm,
a dealer parts department, there's very few that have any passion for cars.
yeah,
They generally it's just numbers to them. It's just a
mhm,
picture. It's just a catalog. It's just whatever.
yeah,
They generally do not care about what they're doing or what they're selling. It's just it is that way. And that's the bad part. That's exactly why we're talking about this. We want people in this industry.
yeah.
I want this industry to come back to its former glory of you walk into a parts store and you could tell a guy, "Hey, I need a heater hose for this." And he's like, "All right," go grabs it off the wall. Doesn't have to sit there and look it up, and see all that. Hi, Quesarito.
What's up, Casey? Yeah,
Um, but doesn't have to look up all this, all this stuff and all this hoopla. They can literally just say, "Oh yeah, you need one of those? Okay, I got it."
yep,
You know, um, and it's just there. It's
mhm,
it's ready. There's that expertise to it that is missing from most of this market nowadays.
yeah,
And it's a shame. So many people have to go to specialty places like, where we currently
mhm,
work.
yeah,
Specialty places or specialty market parts companies
yeah,
to get the correct thing
yeah.
or to get the expertise to understand it.
There we go,
And
and
that's
that's what I was gonna say. Like, you go to O'Reilly's, you're not specifically asking for a diagnosis or specific help doing a certain thing, but if given the person behind the counter is knowledgeable,
yeah.
they will lend that hand, and it makes the whole
And even
experience
then, sometimes you have
10
those
times
people that
better.
come in that they buy from you based off experience,
Yeah,
right? They need to ask the question for you to buy. And that's having the automotive knowledge, right? Like here, or I'm going to use a different example that's fairly detailed. At a regular parts store, right? Somebody comes in and is buying a water pump for something.
yeah,
You know, well, hey, that's you have to take off the thermostat housing to get to it. Like my 27, right? Thermostat housing comes off with the water pump.
mhm,
So thermostat and gasket, right? Your
yep,
upsells.
yeah.
If you have people who know what the fuck they're doing, you're gonna sell more
Yeah,
parts.
it's a win-win for everyone involved,
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
um,
But there's no train. They're taking whoever they can get because they want to
mhm,
pay pennies.
yeah,
That's the problem with all the larger corporate parts stores is they
mhm,
want to pay pennies. They don't want to pay any realistic numbers. Nobody
absolutely,
can afford shit.
yeah, and it's just it's, the way of the world, and hopefully we can sway some opinions. People like a lot of people are after the money. There's a lot of money in this industry.
There is,
There
and
is.
that's not to say you're not going to make money.
Yeah.
But starting off, is it going to be comparable? I mean, now California, right? In
Mhm.
in April, $20 is starting wage for
Fast
fast
food
food
workers.
workers.
Yeah, that
So that's gonna
applies pressure. Like,
yeah.
there's a lot of people gonna.
I would never work in fast food. Even if it
Yeah.
was like, hey, you can make 15 at a parts store or you can make 20 at McDonald's. I'm still gonna go for a parts store because I have I don't want to flip burgers.
It'll be
I
an
don't want to
more enjoyable
exactly.
experience.
It's
Um,
if you like what you do, you're not
yeah.
working, right?
If it comes down to it, if it comes down to it, it would be have some that would be make sense for me financially. Um, if then, but I see it as um almost a way to leverage, a situation. Like, you want to retain workers, you're gonna have to pay them more. But along
Exactly.
with that, it comes with
Exactly.
the experience or the knowledge base.
And
Um,
that's the thing. I mean, when people are comparing jobs, right? Even if they're car people, I see you drive. Here's just one example, right? You drive through a hospital, you see
mm,
350Zs, you
yeah,
see Mustangs, you
yeah.
see cars like that because they
Ooh.
went on to the medical profession.
Mhm.
Maybe not because they care about it or things like that, but because it's good money, right? Not saying they don't care, they probably do, but generally because it's good money.
Yeah.
So they have these modified cars out there in the parking lot. If they could make similar money in the future of working at a parts store or, in parts or just the automotive industry, period, then
Who's to say that they wouldn't have even better time
yeah,
instead of saving people, right? Forget
yeah.
those people. Save
Yeah.
my car. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like,
exactly,
yeah, fuck
yeah.
those people. Come
Yeah, I
on.
mean, a car look, you're doing so much schooling for medical work and things
Yeah.
like that.
You're
What if you
mm,
put that same kind of time I mean, I've been in this industry 10 years, and I probably make more than
damn,
most.
10 years.
Yeah,
Damn, every time I hear it,
yeah.
bro, that's like, fuck, bro, that's old as shit.
Gonna hit 11 later this year.
Dang.
But I've been in this industry 10 years, and I mean, it's what I'm meant to do, right? I don't see myself changing, I don't see myself going anywhere. Automotive is that's it for me. That's where I'm gonna stay, it's gonna be my entire life.
Mhm.
Um, but with that, these situations like, people leaving a parts store many times through my years, they leave a parts store to go to, like an industrial job or something like
Okay.
that because they need the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if they needed to get the money, right? If a parts store was paying well enough, they could be successful.
Yeah.
But they're not able to because of that.
Yeah.
Because it's skimping them out of money.
Mhm.
If, pay for the expertise. If you want to hire grocery store employees, great. Pay $15 an hour. If you want to hire somebody with any kind of expertise, starting in April, you got to be above 20,
Yeah.
really.
Man. And that just goes to show economics has a huge role in people's career paths, um, versus their passions, right? Uh, that's just the way the world is. Hopefully, if we say it enough, if you're passionate about cars, get in the automotive industry. In the long run, it'll benefit you. Um, will hopefully come into fruition. But on that note, is there anything else you'd like to add about your experiences, pros and cons about the automotive industry and getting your foot into the door? On that note,
Pros, I would say, I'll repeat it again. If you're interested in this and you have a passion for it, if you like what you do,
hmm
you'll never work a day in your life, right? If you like what you do and you have a business mindset and you're there for it, money will come.
hmm
Either way, it will come.
yeah,
Uh, but the cons, gatekeepers.
yeah.
Gatekeepers in
Oh, big that. Yep, yeah. I feel it.
it's always that's always gonna be your problem. It's always that veteran, tenured, whatever. Um,
yeah.
but and take learning on yourself.
Mm,
Don't
that's a
don't follow
key.
their, "Oh, well, you'll do this little bit of training," and then
hmm
I get calls all the time. Somebody says, "Hey, the Ford dealer says this is discontinued for my vehicle."
hmm
And I'll go, "No, that's a common mistake. It is not discontinued. I sell them all the time.
hmm
They looked up the wrong one." And people will question it. They'll be, "How do you know that?" I'm like, "I just know." There's
There we
no
go.
training. There's no so learn yourself.
Yeah.
Teach yourself because countless times I get that call, I make the money, not the Ford dealer.
There we go. There we go. Take it upon yourself. That's the key.
Learn it.
There we
Learn
go.
it.
Oh yeah. And that closes up how to get into the auto industry. We'll continue talking about this subject throughout the entire series of this platform. We really do want to get automotive people or people passionate about cars into the automotive industry. Um,
Please.
yeah,
Please.
someday we'll be
This
surrounded by a bunch of car people.
Yeah, this
Um,
network would grow so much if you just had people with an interest in cars working
mhm,
in the industry.
mhm.
There would be so much more money at play. There would be so much more. It would be financially better for people with expertise.
It will make your business last longer
Yes.
with people that are passionate
Yeah,
because passion drives.
the business we're at right now,
Yeah,
if say we all got replaced by grocery store employees, it'd fail.
absolutely.
It would
Oh,
not it
absolutely.
would not
No
do
doubt in
well.
my
It would
mind.
be constant issues.
Yeah.
But
On
on
that note,
onto a onto a little
sorry.
lighter note,
Yeah.
let's jump on. We prepared some infamous criminal cards. Me and
Are we doing j the, ghetto test, ghetto proof
Oh,
first? Yeah.
you want to do that
So
first?
I thought
All
I thought it
right.
was first.
All right.
Yeah. Uh, and 'cause I had a segue, I was creating myself up a segue. I was,
All right. Go ahead, segue.
so so speaking of things that last long, these are we curated a list of cars that, weren't promoted as,
Yeah,
reliable
these weren't
or
winning like car and drivers,
mhm.
10 best cars. These were not your uh generally most of them. These were not cars that were making headlines for being just the best thing you could buy, the
Yeah.
longest lasting car
Yeah.
on, So these are kind of the underrated cars that, as Will said, have been ghetto tested and ghetto
Yeah.
approved.
Meaning, cars that have, lived their life of glory, uh, but have also been to the trenches. Really,
Oh
really
yeah.
worked.
Beat to
Worked,
death, the
beat.
cheapest replacement
There we go.
parts.
Just something that you can mob in. You know, your debt to income ratio is negative, but you could still maintain this car.
Oh,
In a,
this
in
car
yeah.
is, yeah, it's almost given away.
Yeah.
It is passed down generation to generation
Yeah, it's
because it outlives most people.
exactly. And yeah, a lot of the cars on this list, you will be like, "Oh, that is fucking true." You see these cars beat the shit, being mobbed up,
And
and
we hope to
mm,
surprise you with a couple.
yeah. So let's jump right into it.
Alright. So I'm gonna start us off. This is probably, my opinion, the most tried and true tested vehicle that's out there, and it's a shame so many of them went to the boneyard years ago
Mm,
because
just life
I
expense. Yeah.
see day laborers load up in these
Oh yeah.
every morning, every day. You see them at the gas station getting coffees. There'll be 12 of them in this thing.
Oh man.
The Chevy Astro
Mm,
and GMC Safari vans. Those things, they came with a 4.3.
mm.
It's a 350 small block, just chop off 2 cylinders pretty much.
Is it no, not a Vortec?
Yeah, it
No.
was a
Oh,
Vortec.
Vortec. Okay,
It
okay,
was a Vortec for a few years. I
okay.
think they've changed the names on them so many
Yeah.
times, but
True. True.
nonetheless, it is a 4.3-liter V6,
Mm.
tried and true. They changed many times over the years. I think they even started carbureted, then throttle body injection, then fuel injected,
Dang,
and
they
then,
went through the whole
oh
generation.
yeah,
Just,
this
just
is a lifelong
man.
motor. Um, but those things are tried and true. You could even get them all-wheel drive.
Oh man, that's pretty
You could get
badass.
them all-wheel
Yeah.
drive. There was all kinds of different outfits for them. You
Mm.
could get them as a camper special with, like, the high
I've
roof,
seen those. Yeah.
all of that,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
You
were
can live in the motherfuckers, man.
my
They're
grandpa had one.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
a GMC Safari, and
Okay.
I never knew what
Oh
to
yeah.
appreciate it. It's, you take the seats out, you have a truck bed, right?
Mm.
You load it up with anything you want. It's still a compact van, so you're not
Yeah.
driving around a bus.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Hell yeah.
Love them. Grade A, 100%.
The Astro bands.
Mhm, mhm.
Next up on the list is, or this is one of yours, so let you
Oh,
say
I
it. I'll let
love
you say
this.
it. Yeah.
Almost all 90s and 2000s Buicks.
Yeah.
LeSabres,
Mm.
Park Avs, anything with that GM 3800 engine.
Yep.
All of those.
Bulletproof.
Not literally, we've seen plenty with
Oh
bullets,
yeah, absolutely.
but
Yeah, yeah. Figuratively.
yeah, these, you go down to Oakland, you go through Richmond, right? I'm sure
Yeah.
they're dying off now, but,
Yeah. Yeah.
these are cars that every block has, like, 3.
Yeah.
These cars, they were passed down from grandmas,
Mhm.
and still nice cars, but they've been
Some.
through it, they've been tested, they've
Absolutely.
been beaten,
Beat up.
and they have survived.
Yeah. Next on this list, this is probably the number one pick in the draft.
This
This
probably
will it,
most talked about.
this is now become almost an internet meme sensation. The Nissan Altima and Centura.
Sentra.
Sentra. I do this on
Centura.
purpose, man. These cars, they will have city girls in them mobbing with hot Cheeto fingers, right? Their man won't fix their spare tires, so they're riding on a donut, right? They will just run forever.
Oh, yeah.
They the fu
This could
shit.
be anything from a drug dealer to a
Yeah.
teenage girl
Oh,
to
man.
a,
To a pregnant mom with 5 kids, to a fucking you could be almost homeless driving an Altima. No one will know because it's
percentage by percentage
yeah.
or per capita, this car has more car seats in it than any other car on the road, minivans included.
Oh, man, yeah.
This thing always front bumper hang in,
Yeah.
Band-Aid stickers on
Hey,
dents.
hey, but one thing that will not disappoint you is that it will run. It will fucking run,
Oh, yeah,
and it won't
sadly.
stop. Yeah.
I mean,
Man,
it'll it'll
yeah,
it'll it'll break down.
yeah,
It'll break down at
at
some point.
at some
It
point,
will.
but
It'll happen.
these are
I think
are
one that's under talked about though that
hmm,
I know we didn't include in here because you
which one?
don't see them as much,
Which one?
the Maximas. Because Maxima's gone, right?
Maxima,
It's been
yeah.
discontinued, but
Yeah,
the
that's
Maxima used to be big Ultima
I
energy.
I I love the Maxima.
Yeah,
I personally love it.
yeah. I love
Transmission aside, the
yeah,
car's great.
I love the older Maximas when you could get them with a manual, like the one
Ooh,
in Fast and the Furious, the
yeah.
blue one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
those were dope.
Oh, yeah.
Front wheel drive
No,
sucks, but
for real. Next one on the list, this is one that, you will see the bed of the truck stacked
Y
high with fucking cans and boxes and crates,
Pallets.
pallets.
This is a pallet hauler.
Just
Actually, the next 3 are really pallet
yeah.
haulers. This one, I just have to note, this is always the second one that pulls in after the Chevy Astro, first
Yep.
thing in the morning, 6 a.m., going
Yep.
to a day labor job. This is 100% it.
Absolutely. And it's a Toyota pickup.
Not a Tacoma,
No, no,
not a
no, no,
Tundra,
no.
not a T100.
Talking about the teeny bitty ones.
The Toyota pickup.
Yeah,
Classic.
like the 80s, 90s era,
Yep,
right? Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
More dense than anything you've ever seen in your life.
Man.
More dense than a car parked at a baseball field. This thing is dented, beaten,
Oh yeah.
abused,
It's
bruised.
missing a fender. It's fucking
What
just
is it? The
mm,
22 RE just
just
whirring away,
running.
towing 8,000 pounds and just
Damn, dude.
beat to hell.
Overweight capacity by far, but just mobbing. It
Yeah.
has a Carolina fucking squat
Yeah,
going, but
yeah, yeah. The
it's just
Carolina
going.
lean.
It's just
Woo!
going.
That
Uh,
that thing dead fat or
yeah,
steadfast, tried and true,
yeah,
100% ghetto tested, ghetto approved.
exactly. Cars that have been through the ringer and still running,
Mhm.
right? You could
Mhm.
you could run into a ditch and pull out the next day.
I'm gonna
Um,
throw these next 2 in together because for a couple years they were actually the same
oh,
truck.
really? Okay.
Mazda pickups and the Ford Ranger. I can't
What?
remember what I think it was the Mazda B2200
Okay.
or
I
2300
think I
and the
I totally remember something
B3200,
like that.
B3000.
Was it a collab or was
It
it
was
just
100% a collab. It
okay,
was
okay,
Mazda gave some engines
okay,
and Ford gave some platform
okay.
and vice versa.
Dope, dope, dope.
This was joint effort. Toyota and Mazda just
Oh yeah.
loved each other.
There's very good things that come from American and
Yeah,
JDM.
this
Just
is one of the
great.
longest
Yeah.
standing mixes too. I think the Ford Courier and the Mazda hard bodies were the same, I
Mm.
think.
They're crazy.
But this combo, Ford Ranger, obviously, parts stores are using them. 300,000 miles.
Hmm.
You see them all over the place. Not the new ones. We're not talking new. We're talking 90s to 2010 when they stopped that whole body style. These things
Absolutely.
beat to hell. Same thing as the Toyota pickups. Just why are they even on the road?
Hey,
Why are these even driving? How?
it's it's
How is it possible?
it's a blessing. It's just mm,
Still cruising.
there we go.
Still, and some of them still, weirdly enough, a 2010 Ranger is like
Oh, worth good
10
money.
grand.
Yeah, bro. What the
I saw
hell,
one for 10 grand. I'm like, it's not even,
bruh?
it's not low miles. It's not unique. It's a fleet work truck with
you know,
120,000 for 15 grand.
it's sad.
Woo!
It's sad almost.
You could buy an F-150 cheaper.
Dude, crazy. Um, next one on the list, it's almost a luxury brand, right?
Kind
Eh,
of. I mean, I kind of go back and forth. This one's kind of on the list, but I think many people dump it after
mm,
their first major fix. But they're still
absolutely,
there.
yeah, yeah.
They're still
They're
in the
mobbing.
market.
They're mobbing, and these are usually things you get from the auction, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
just
This is
auction
auction
cars.
car.
Busted out taillight, right?
Mhm,
And a lot of these
mhm,
cars just
mhm.
beat the shit, but they just run.
You will not find this car at a dealership.
No, 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 no.
Never.
Volkswagen Beetle and Jetta, right?
We're throwing them both in there. Same motors,
Yes,
same. A lot of components are the
yeah.
same.
And I hear a lot of times these are just baby Audis, like just
The 1.8.
yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
1.8. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, the Beetle and the Audi TT share a platform,
okay, yep.
and the Jetta and the A3 shared a
Hmm.
platform.
Yeah,
So I mean, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Generally speaking, I mean,
And I've seen some pretty cool builds around the Beatles specifically. I haven't seen really anything on the Jettas. I actually liked it. I thought it was pretty
I
dope.
hate
Thought it
Beetles.
was pretty
Oh, are
dope.
you talking about that SEMA build?
Uh,
One of them was a SEMA build. I think
maybe
we looked at.
not the old school Beetle. It was like a
Yeah, yeah, newer.
2001. Oh,
I
we gotta check
think
it
it
back
was a
out.
SEMA build.
Yeah,
I
check
don't
it
know.
out.
Don't
Um,
mind us. We
yeah, we
yammer.
banter a lot. We
Yeah.
go off sidetrack, but that's what makes us great. We love cars. We can do this all the time. Um, yeah, these cars will run forever.
Mhm, mhm.
Minor fixes here and there, but
Minor
they.
fixes. Heater hoses are like that's like a $1,500 job.
What the
Yeah,
fuck,
yeah. Don't get me started. On the
dude?
1.8 ones, I remember
Holy
somebody
shit.
had to replace them, and they were like, "This is I'll
Mm,
throw this car away."
well,
They ended up having family friend do it or something, but even the
okay.
heater hoses themselves were employee cost at the time was like
Mm.
$300.
What I think is great is because there were so many of them, they're
Mhm,
bound to find them at the junkyard,
mhm.
which is why they're
Oh, yeah,
tried and
yeah,
true. They're just
yeah.
get one if you want to mob it.
Availability, yeah.
Yeah,
They were mass produced.
yeah.
They're everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Next one of my favorites. Whoop, whoop.
Oh yeah.
The Mercedes C230 compressor. I'm also throwing it in there though, the CLKs, because
Mhm.
CLKs are, you know,
Absolutely.
they're out there. They're all over.
Yeah.
But the C230 compressor, that was
Uh,
always something. You see that thing mobbing around,
mobbing.
5 people in it in
You
a
know,
compact Mercedes.
like
How it's still on the road is beyond me. Those were, I think, turbo for that generation. That's what the whole
yeah.
compressor
Okay, really?
stand for. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it
They
meant something
were
else.
they were either supercharged or turboed. I can't
Interesting.
remember.
That's crazy. But I was gonna
But
say the whole compressor line, they're pretty tough. Like
yeah,
I vividly remember seeing a lot of these cars. I still to this day I'm like, why are they still on the
and
road?
they made a baby SL too.
Really? A
Yeah, it was,
compressor?
I don't,
That's
I think it was
crazy.
a SL something, or yeah,
We have to look
S
into that.
not a
Yeah.
SLK. That's the
Mm,
big one, right? I can't remember.
yeah.
But nonetheless, compressor models definitely up there on that
Man.
list.
Another Mercedes, ML 320, the SUV, right?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
early 2000s, late 90s
hmm
SUV.
They were mint at one point. I remember for literally like maybe like a week owning one. And I would have loved
For
to
a
actually,
week?
yeah, it was a weird situation. It was a very weird situation
I
around it.
can't say I've owned
The
a car for a week,
Yeah?
but yeah. I
Well,
mean, for just a week.
it was essentially supposed to be I don't wanna get into it. It's some bullshit.
Oh, well.
Yeah, but,
Yeah, those are tried and true,
for sure.
tested,
Absolutely.
abused, somehow
Absolutely.
still on the road.
Man.
I find it funny though. I've been watching The Sopranos. Just
Mhm.
quick little tangent. I've been on a Sopranos binge, and seeing the cars that they drive in there, I'm like, God, if you could have that in mint condition now, like that would just, if you could just transport the cars they have in that show to now,
Man. Oh, yeah.
boy,
Man.
great.
We'll talk a little bit about classic
Yeah.
cars in a little bit, but
Uh, Next up, Ford
mhm.
Explorers.
Yep.
Somehow, I mean, I had one. I took my driver's test in one.
Mm.
It was my in-laws. Love that thing.
Mhm.
My brother-in-law has it now, and he will give it back. I don't care how beat it is, but
Yeah.
I will
So
have that back.
that's a great case for a car that's been in the family, just getting
Yeah,
passed around,
yeah,
and it's still running great.
yeah,
It's still going.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Tried and
It's
true.
it's great. I
Yeah.
love it. And these, just for another little snippet,
Yeah.
you could get them with a 5 liter.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you
Real
can get them with a
Coyote?
5 liter. No, not a
No? Oh,
Coyote.
okay.
Too
Okay.
old. But
Okay.
yeah, you can get them with a 5 liter. 5 liter, even all-wheel drive,
Mm.
fairly decked out, Eddie Bauer editions, all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah.
I have been wanting to just buy a 5 liter all-wheel drive one and just make it just a true sleeper,
Mm.
even though it's like
That
5,000 pounds.
the new Explorers
Mhm.
are so underrated or they're
Oh
kinda
god,
getting
yeah.
brought up now, but they're
They were slept on for like the
dude,
first 3 years,
they're
and then
quick.
people started to modify them because 'cause they're getting out of warranty, and
Mhm.
then yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
The
That's it.
Explorers, it's a great platform
Yeah,
there.
speaking of another
Yeah.
video we'll talk about, the 2025 was just discussed.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
have
they
to,
just released it. Not much of a change,
okay.
really,
Alright.
but still nonetheless, good
Absolutely.
conversation.
Yeah. Another one that's on the list, we're rounding it out now. We're almost done with this list and moving on to the next segment soon.
Mhm.
That is I can't
Zuzu.
Isuzu. Isuzu. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it was called Isuzu. Isuzu Trooper. And these are the little box trucks?
No,
Or
no, no,
no,
no,
no.
no.
Oh,
These
the
are,
little car, the little
think, you know the '90s Honda Passports?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's exactly what it
Same
is.
thing?
Literally same car.
Okay, damn. Yeah.
Yeah, Honda paid a Zuzu to make them. Yeah,
Okay.
and I
Yeah.
think for a couple years they gave them a Honda engine, which made them
Oh, damn.
nice
There
and
we go.
reliable.
So
But that's why it's tried and true.
exactly. And yeah, bro, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
you see these same kind of thing. This is normally with Hispanic cultures.
okay. Yeah, I can't say I've seen too
Beat
many
to
of these
hell,
specifically, but
faded green.
okay.
It's always the faded
It's
green one.
green. Yeah.
Always the faded green one.
Yeah.
Uh, Next one, I had somebody in the family with one of these. These are garbage cars.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna tell you, these will constantly have
Mm.
issues, and this is a nationwide. Everybody knows how bad these are. But in the ghetto, you'll still find a ton of them on the road for some reason. I'm assuming they're just paying to bypass
They're
smog and doing all that.
they're almost go I can see the clips now. It's about to fade off. PT
Yeah,
Cruiser
yeah,
is gonna be this forgotten thing in the
yeah.
past. Yeah.
PT Cruiser.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't even say the name yet.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
bad. Yeah, PT
No, no, no.
Cruiser. Yeah,
Yeah.
piece of shit.
They're
Yeah.
they're garbage.
Yeah.
They're literally garbage. They
Yeah.
were garbage when they were new. The
Mhm.
aesthetic of them is the
Oh.
only reason a lot of
Ugh.
people bought them.
Ugh. Ugh. They
Um,
bought it for the aesthetic?
Boomer generation. Boomer generation
Yeah,
ate those things up. That's the only
that's a
reason
little, yeah.
Chrysler is still alive is the PT Cruiser. The PT Cruiser
Oh,
carried them
man.
over from their worst
That's
years.
like their retirement car, huh? Kinda thing. Okay, now I can see it.
Pretty much, yeah.
They must have, like, I know they had a lot of the
Well, no, it
wooded
wasn't
the
even retirement for them yet.
no,
They
man.
were they were in their 50s when these
That's
came
great.
out.
I was a little boy when these were
Yeah.
around, bro, but
Yeah, I hated them. I've
yeah.
only known one person, like, in my family or somebody I knew close with one. They hated it. Cluster went out,
Ugh.
PCM went out, the stupid floor shifter, if you've ever seen one, it looks like a manual. It looks like a dope 60s manual
Yeah.
shifter, but it's just like a white ball with a silver knob on top, and it's
Ugh.
all the way down on the floor.
Okay.
Terrible. Hate the car,
Jeez.
but nonetheless, tried and true, ghetto
There we
tested,
go.
ghetto approved.
PT Cruiser's a, Chrysler or not a Chrysler.
Yeah,
It's a Chrysler product? Oh,
yeah, it's
okay,
a
dang.
Chrysler PT
I thought it
Cruiser,
was
yeah.
a Chevy product. No?
No.
Am I
Chevy
getting,
wouldn't make a car that bad.
I
They
was
make
maybe
bad cars. I hate their cars,
maybe I'm
but
getting confused with the, uh, what was the other car with
oh,
SS? No, no, no.
HHR.
There we go. HHR.
Everybody,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
everybody puts them in the HHR in the same
Yeah.
category.
They're like, if you squint your eyes a little bit, tilt your head, they're like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I can see it.
yeah. If they could blow by you on the freeway, they would look
Yeah.
the same.
Man. And last one on the list, this one is just like this might be second
This,
to the
this,
Altima.
and this is a
Uh,
family of cars, similar to like we did with the Nissan.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is a family of cars, but the main one,
Mhm. Is the Chrysler Sebring. I didn't butcher that one. It is a
because it's a
long
Chrysler product, right?
catfish looking car, kind of.
Yeah, the
Um,
Chrysler Sebrings, the, Chrysler 300M, not the
oh,
300s, but
that
the
M.
300M,
Wow.
the,
Yeah.
God, what else? They were Dodge Stratus, they
Mhm.
were Chrysler's, like, next attempt at making a K car.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
but
there
yeah, they fully fledged, they had the market cornered with
mhm.
just these big body garbage cars.
Yeah, and I see a lot of people driving around, mobbing him, dailies, whatever.
Mhm.
I remember seeing one for 24 Hours of Lemons.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, and that just goes to
I would love to
prove.
do that. If you
Yeah.
guys could fund us
Oh
to
man,
do a 24-hour lemons,
someday,
we would
someday.
so do that.
Yeah. We, we
Love it.
we have a lot of plans in
Mhm,
store, right?
mhm.
Like the economy's pretty shit right now. But if you guys are able to, bless us, we're not
It's
asking for
always
any hands
shit.
out. We only have
Yeah.
two viewers. But we love viewers. Thank you guys for checking it out and hanging out with us. If you guys want to drop a comment of any of your cars that are just going still today. Um, hey, what's up, Paul?
Hi, Paul.
We would love to hear some feedback. Cars you guys see on the road still today that are just like, why the fuck is it still around? It's just one of those things that just we pay attention to it because we're in these environments all the time,
Yeah.
and they're
And it
just
yeah,
yeah.
these are things we see all the time and just feeding that over.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, a whole list of cars. We'll keep going to this list because I mean, there's plenty that we're missing. Uh, but next up, we wanted to talk about some infamous criminal cars.
Oh yeah.
And Will's got a few big names. I've got one guy that if he didn't get popped when he did, he probably would be one of these big
Oh
names.
yeah. And
Uh,
and what's cool about this list that we're curating, um, it's you don't really see people that have money buy like actual car guy cars, like real
yeah, yeah, they
like
buy the typical,
Mercedes
yeah,
G-Wagon
yeah,
or
yeah,
buy a Lambo
yeah,
or
just the $200,000 tasteless car.
yeah, exactly. We're
Yeah,
not looking for that. We're looking for people that,
some flavor, some
that didn't go on the best route
flavor.
in life, but their heart was good. You
They
feel
didn't
me?
make the money in a
They
good way.
yeah, they had good taste in cars. Um, and do you wanna start with some of mine and then jump over to yours?
Yeah,
Because yours
yeah,
yours is, like, underrated as hell. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, so everyone knows the names I'm gonna say. Um,
Everybody's heard
not
about them, seen them on the news, or
not
been
be
through these situations, seeing
exactly.
them.
Not because of their car collections, though. Some of them were brought up,
Mhm, mhm.
but what caught my eye with this first guy, Al Capone, right? The original gangster, right? Just
The
living it up.
biggest name in
Real
money-making criminals.
exactly, real mobster, right? He had a interesting taste in cars, dude. Like legit,
Mhm,
I
mhm.
when I came across what he owned, I was like, wow, like that makes sense.
Yeah.
So in this time and era, right, technology wasn't really a big thing. So he wasn't really into any fancy cars. He
Well,
really
there weren't many options back then either,
true,
though. It's not
absolutely.
like you had full reign.
Mhm.
Uh, it's not like you had full rate, Paul. It's not like he had full reign of like a huge selection like we do now. They were there were cars. They
Yeah.
were means of transportation for them.
Yep.
And yeah, he took what he had and did with it what he could. But
Exactly. So he had a specific taste, and it was American. He loved American cars. He
mhm,
didn't really
mhm.
buy anything foreign.
My man.
Yeah, right. Keep it in the country, right?
Mhm,
Um, but what he particularly liked was the V8s, the big body luxury Cadillacs, right? He was mobbing those. Those were his dailies.
mhm.
But what caught my eye, which was like, whoa, right? It's my first thought of maybe the first to do it, right? He's the first to do it.
Probably, yeah, yeah, one
He,
of the first outside of military, I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Maybe even the
He,
first, because I don't think military even did some of the stuff he did.
Yeah, no, for real. So he would take a V8 American car, not anything specifically, make it fully bulletproof, right? And that's
Yeah,
kind of like it's
yeah,
his that's his career path. So there's things give and take, right? So he needed that protection, fully bulletproof. But what caught my eye was he would put police sirens on his cars, police lights on his cars, and police radios in his cars. But I was like, whoa, that's fucking smart.
yeah,
Like, I should fucking
yeah,
do that shit. Like, right?
hell
Like, what
yeah.
the fuck?
Well, you already got the light.
Yeah, I got the lights.
You already got the lights.
I do. I do got the lights. But yeah, dude, so that was really cool. He wasn't a flashy
Yeah,
guy, but his taste in cars were clean and inconspicuous, but also like he had all the whistles to do what he had to do safely. Right. So
yeah,
that's like, think outside the box, very functional, right? I
yeah.
love that kind of thing. So I'm not able to name any specific cars that he had, but yeah, you can imagine like the old
Yeah, he had
fucking
old Cadillacs, old
exactly,
Fords,
yep.
old yeah,
Yeah.
he was kinda all over the place. He had a ton of different ones, but that's because it was a means of transportation, right?
Mhm.
Not let the
He said,
ops know what you're
He said, "I'm a businessman." You feel me?
He was though.
For real.
If there was somebody in the drug world that was business, I
Yeah.
think him and, Frank, the dude out of New York, Frank
Okay. Oh,
Lucas.
yeah. Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Those
Um,
2, it was business. It was nothing else, but it was a business.
exactly. Um, so yeah, that infinite very infamous criminal, but had a
Mhm.
really cool collection of cars or good taste in cars, essentially. Next on the list, everyone should know this guy. He started
He's got a movie about him that
yeah,
came out in the
exactly.
last 10 years. He's
He's
out there.
pretty relevant.
Yeah. There's even a song that me and my wife listen to all
Oh,
the time.
really?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Jordan Belfort.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the next guy on the list is Jordan Belford, right? The Wolf on Wall Street, right? This guy that
Frauded the whole stock
came
market.
from nothing, made it something, right?
Mhm.
And the way he got his money, not my problem here. Not my say, but he had a good taste in cars.
Yeah.
He had a pretty good taste in cars. One of the ones that we all remember from the movie was
Yeah.
the '91 Ferrari Testarossa. Said it right?
Yeah.
Okay, there we
Yeah,
go.
you got that one.
There we
You
go.
got that one.
Um,
Italian is not your,
any language is not my thing.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but Italian's not your kryptonite.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I could speak a little bit. Uh, but yeah, he had a Ferrari.
This is my
That,
favorite car. If I was ever gonna buy like a classic supercar,
mm,
Ferrari Testarossa.
oh
I
yeah,
love it.
seeing it in the movie was I see why it was a poster car for a lot of people.
Wait, are you talking about the white car?
I'm talking about the white one. That's the Countach. That's a Countach.
Yeah, Countach.
The
Okay, maybe Italian isn't your strong.
yeah,
We tried.
yeah,
We tried.
we're trying.
But yeah, this
But
one was in there as well, but it wasn't white, I don't think, in the
in
movie.
the movie,
Yeah, I don't think it was white in the movie. I
the
think the Testarossa. I
okay,
think it was red.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
I can see that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but
we looked at actual photos of this, and this one is white,
yeah,
but I wouldn't do a white one.
he had exquisite taste, right?
Oh yeah, the
And
finest of the fine.
do you were there any other cars that were like, ooh, that's a good one?
Not that I can remember. I He had all kinds of things though. That's the thing. For him, it wasn't necessarily you know, it wasn't necessarily his taste. It was just that was out there.
Yeah,
I know he had all kinds of different Porsches and Cadillacs and all kinds of stuff, but uh, yeah, he definitely had a wide array of cars. But given that kind of money, of course you're going to,
yeah,
you know.
absolutely. And the reason he made the list is he's very the car is very he made the car infamous.
Yeah,
That was just like you see that car, you think of him.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why he's on those lists. You know, millions of other things. He has bought yachts, mansions, right? But cars are what we care about, and he has a pretty sick collection of it.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and to round that off, the next person that you know,
Oh, here, you can look at mine.
oh, thank you. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? The next person that we have that a lot of people know, they made a movie about him as well. Um,
They made like 5.
yeah,
He's
dude.
had so many movies.
And for a good reason. Like I from based off the movies, like it seemed like his heart was in the right place. Just bad timing, even though you know what I mean.
Bad it wasn't bad timing, it was a bad way to get there.
Yeah. But Pablo Escobar, guys. Pablo Escobar is one of the
Bad
most
timing.
notorious drug kingpins in the world, right? People say infamous, some people
Household
say
name.
famous. Household name.
Household name, yeah.
He's a brand name. He's a
Yeah.
brand. But Pablo Escobar, he had an amazing car collection.
This was an actual car guy,
There we
not
go.
just not
Legit,
the
legit.
other 2 we mentioned that
What
cars was a byproduct of their wealth.
exactly? This
This
guy,
no matter
um,
what, he would have had cars, money or not.
what I loved the most about reading up on this was that he didn't just buy the cars to sit there and look good. He
Mhm.
would actually drive the
Oh,
cars.
yeah, he raced.
Yeah.
He
Oh, there
raced.
yeah. He was
Yeah.
a racer. I remember him setting up his own competitions.
Yeah.
And literally he was this
That's
advocate car person, man.
that's the thing,
Like,
he funded a whole community down
oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
there. Yeah.
His heart was in the right place.
Yeah,
Just the
yeah.
way he got there
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah, I
yeah,
mean
man. But yes, list some of the cars that he has or had, because you no longer here. Um,
you
he
want
had
me
a
to read some of them
yeah,
because
I'm
I'm
like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm saying,
So he had, one of the ones that I've actually seen him race was a '74 Porsche 911 RSR IROC.
damn.
That there's
Mhm.
multiple things of him racing that car
Mm.
himself.
Oh yeah,
Um, and most of his other cars, he would put other racers in them.
really?
Yeah, he
For
would
actual competition
yeah,
race?
racing teams,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, dude, this
Um,
that's dope.
but yeah, he had a whole ton of Mercedes, he had
Mhm.
a Gullwing, he had,
Mm.
all kinds of classics.
Yeah.
But he would throw most of his cars were actual race cars, and he would race them. No doubt about it.
Dang, dude.
Yeah.
I love the fact that, no matter what was going on in his life, he'd make time for that shit. He'd
Well,
like,
and that's
like,
the thing. I mean, a lot of the movies, I don't know if they portrayed this right. I don't know how he really is as a person,
mhm.
but in a lot of these movies, he's portrayed as he cared about his family, he cared about his community, and that's just
And I believe that to be true.
yeah.
The biggest reason people get into selling drugs or doing illicit activities to make money is
It's
for their
good.
family.
Yeah,
It's
and there's
legit.
no other way to make
Just
wealth.
exactly.
Not in some of those countries.
Exactly. And he found a lane and stuck to it
Yep.
and kept his passions true.
Yeah.
Right? So real car guy right there, man.
Oh, definitely.
Pablo
Yeah.
Escobar. Do we have yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's about rounds it
That
off.
rounds off the big names.
Yeah.
I've got one guy, honorable mention for drug kingpin,
Mhm.
whatever. But he was a bit more on the legal side. He wasn't as hardcore drugs as the others. But a guy named Corey Taylor.
Hmm. Never heard that name before.
Neither have I.
Sounds like an average Joe to
Yeah,
me.
sounds like a
Joe Smo.
regular Corey.
Yeah, there we go.
Um, but he was out in Michigan, I believe.
Okay.
Um, but when they busted him with what was it, 58 pounds or something like that, or
158 pounds. Yeah.
158
Yeah.
pounds, and then they found a lot more in his little safe house. So in his possession, he had more than his fair share.
Yeah.
Um,
I believe they said they found $4 million in cash.
yeah, 4 million in
Yeah.
cash.
Man.
But that's not what we're here to talk
No,
about.
no,
This is
that's
not a
not what
drug
we
channel,
we don't care about that.
contrary to recent
Yeah, recent
videos.
topics. Yeah.
But so Mr. Corey Taylor, when they went and raided his safe house, they found.
Oh, you got a list.
Oh yeah,
Oh man.
yeah,
Oh, get
yeah.
ready for this
He
one. Get
probably
ready
he
for this one.
probably had as many cars as the other big names. 13 Mark IV Supras. 10 of
Whoa.
them had under 50,000 miles. 12 of them were turbo, and 8 of them had a manual trans. Bandit, if you don't
God
lay the fuck
damn.
down, I'm gonna beat your ass. Technical difficulties. No,
Cause of this dog.
go on.
He wants to be part of the show, but he's not able to speak yet. So he's kind
Okay.
of a little higher. Higher. That's good.
Sorry, big dog.
He's a big dog, little space.
Yeah,
You could kind
and
of
he won't sit down because he's been in the office all day.
yeah, you kind of
All
see
right,
him right there. There he is. Or is he on
where?
my side? Oh, he's on my side.
Yeah.
Hey,
Say hi, Bandit. Say hi to the people.
say hi, Bandit. Yeah.
But so he had 13 Mark IV Supras,
Damn.
10 with under 50,000 miles.
Yeah.
And the highest mile one had like 128,000. So still
Dang.
low miles.
Yeah, but he was driving them,
Yeah, yeah,
dude.
no,
That
he was an enthusiast,
yeah.
100%.
That was. Wait till you hear the rest of the
Yeah,
list.
that's just the car he had the most of. He had 5 E46 BMW M3s. They were all pretty much similarly equipped,
Dang.
with the exclusion of one convertible.
Uh huh.
Which I wouldn't want a
Yeah.
convertible anyway.
Nah. Nah.
He had 2 Honda S2000s.
Wow.
He had 2 Mitsubishi Lancer
This
Evos,
guy, dude.
2 Nissan 350Zs. One of them was heavily modified to be a track car. He had a F82 BMW M4.
Mm-hmm.
He had an E92 BMW M3 Lime Rock
This
Park Edition, which
this
I had no
guy,
idea what that was, but
Lime Rock Edition.
they're teaching me things.
That's a rare one,
And then he had one Acura Integra Type R that was pretty modified as well.
dude. That's
Uh,
crazy to me. This guy,
he had a car lot, bro. He
bro.
had an enthusiast car lot, an enthusiast dream. You
Oh
know how
man.
many people would kill for a Supra? One?
Oh, bro.
Not 13, but
What
one.
the only thing that I can imagine, right, for someone that's not really if he's trying to play a facade as someone that likes cars, he just literally went to like Need for Speed and bought all the top fucking cars and
Oh
was like,
yeah,
oh
yeah,
these are what people like. I'm gonna buy them.
yeah.
Nah, but the reality of the situation is he is a really legit car guy
Oh
that
yeah,
bought cars because he fucking loves the cars
yeah,
and he drove him like a real car enthusiast should.
yeah. All
And
these cars had miles. All of
man,
them were not. They weren't showroom cars. They were
yeah,
used.
man.
Except I think I read something in there. A couple of those Supras were literally investment cars. They just sat.
Okay. Yeah,
But
damn.
a few of
Too
them
bad
were
he didn't.
fairly heavily modified.
Yeah, dude,
He did
that's
not play around. He was really, really in it for the cars.
wow. You think
He
that
had
he had
again a bad way of making his money to do it, but
yeah. You
I mean,
think
in all,
the operation was just to fund his car passion?
very
It
possible, yeah,
looks like that, yeah.
yeah. I mean, looking at the
Damn.
cars there, I'm sure he raced them.
Oh, for
I'm
sure.
sure he
For
raced them. I
sure.
mean, even Weekend Warrior Racing, they were
Yeah.
still race
Yeah.
cars. They
How
were still
relevant is
modified.
this guy? Is he 2000s there? Is he relevant?
You know, I didn't
Was?
I didn't actually see. I think it was relatively recent though. Corey Taylor.
It could have don't vape, guys. Don't vape. It's bad. Vape. Well,
2020.
yeah. Oh, damn. Super
So he
recent.
paid full price for these cars.
Damn, bro. Yeah. Well, we had four M's
Yeah.
at the
And the
spot.
the
So
sad part is he went to jail,
hmm
um, got out on bail, and they didn't he was gone. He disappeared, and then they found
oh
him a couple weeks later in a
damn,
in a abandoned building like 2 towns over, deceased.
dang, dude, that's
It's a
sad.
shame.
That's
It's a
a sad
shame.
way to go, bro.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, if only he could have made his money in a real way,
absolutely,
that
absolutely.
definitely,
There, my thought aspect of if you're a drug dealer and you get to this certain level, you're able to step away, not clean slate, but you're still able to live a life,
you have the
right? So I
money.
don't know.
Yeah, you have the money to get out.
Yeah, that's a sad way to go. You feel me?
It's a shame.
Beautiful car collection though. And that finishes up our list of infamous criminals
Mhm.
that had really sick car collections, man. Um, and hope the last one shocked you guys, honestly, because no one knows of this
Yeah,
Curtis guy. What's his name?
Corey.
Corey.
Corey. Curtis. But
But
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's sad to say. I mean, there's a lot of people in the automotive world
hmm
that are huge car people, but they just the I think the passion, like in his case, I think the passion for cars overwhelmed
mm.
his morals,
Oh
and he
yeah,
would do whatever it took to get what he wanted.
yeah,
And I mean,
you know,
selling weed is not,
it's not.
as we know nowadays, it's not the worst thing to be in. It's much better than Escobar
Oh, for
and all
sure.
these other
You're
names.
not you're not
You're not ruining people's
you're
lives.
not cutting it with fentanyl. You're not
Yeah.
fucking. It, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, no.
But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, really cool car collections.
Yeah.
Not so nice people. Um,
If only he would have got into music, he could have been like the next T-Pain, who
oh,
is just
dude, his collection's
much
sick.
much appreciation for T-Pain.
Yeah.
Drifting cars.
Oh man.
He's actually getting out there and drifting himself. He's drifting his cars.
Wow.
He has like 5 drift cars. He's got a whole fleet of cars. And that's the thing, same situation, but he chose to go about it in a legal route
Yeah.
and make his money legally.
Long story short, um, get it how you can, but
Get
don't
into the car
yeah,
industry.
get in the car
Get
industry.
into car industry.
Don't waste your life.
Don't
Especially
sell
since
drugs, do drugs.
yeah, not exclusively. But yeah, I think that rounds it off. Thank you guys for checking us out. If you guys tune in, and for our future viewers, thank you for checking us out. Hit the subscribe button if you guys like the content we're bringing out to you guys. And make sure you guys push notifications are on because we are doing this live thing pretty regularly now.
Yeah.
And we love to interact with our viewers. Like,
Yeah. Be here in the moment.
yeah, we would
As the
love
kids
to.
say, be here or be square.
Yeah, yeah. Don't be the parent that's like, on their phone while their kids are at the playground. Like, hop in with us. Hop on the
Yeah, get
fucking
on your phone
seesaw.
while your kid's at the playground
Yeah.
and watch.
Oh yeah, true, true. Uh, Absolutely. But thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in for the episode of Auto Chronicles podcast.
Hugs and kisses.
And there we go.